What is the best starting job for the protagonist in Octopath Traveler 0? So we're going to get into that really quick here and basically go over the 3 jobs that I think I would recommend starting with. Obviously, all of them are going to be viable. All of them, you're going to be able to absolutely clear the game. I just wanted to make a quick video kind of going over the 3 that I think are most likely to help you most in the early game, and then hopefully kind of speed up your progress so you don't have to grind quite as much. And first, the game's not even out yet. Why would you listen to me? So as you can see here, I've played Octopath Traveler 2 for 100 hours about, and I've done all the achievements. And also on Octopath Traveler COTC, I have 118 YouTube videos. Now, this is not to imply that I know everything about the game or that, I'm gonna have perfect knowledge, but I just wanna say that I have played enough of these games where I think I have a rough idea of what is powerful based off the mechanics that are going to be presented. But really quick, before we jump into the meat of the video, I have one question for you. Do you hate Raid Shadow Legends? Good, because now is the time to fight back. By using my link down below to download the game, you not only get to support a simple janitor on their path to becoming a content creator, but you get to join in the fight to take money out of the pockets of the big gotcha companies. And even better, if you're one of the first 5 people to download the game using my code and hit account level 30, you'll win $20 directly from the sponsor. What are you waiting for? Join the fight and help me take what's rightfully ours! So click my link right now to start. Thank you again, Raid Shadow Legends, for sponsoring this video. So now, let's go ahead and just get into it. So the way that this game works is your protagonist gets to be created with like their own job, and this job is not quite a cookie cutter of the original. I mean, the jobs are the cookie cutter of the 8 original, right? But there are key differences, such as the Scholar doesn't do any ice or lightning attacks. It does fire, but then it does wind and light, not lightning, but like the sun. And that's a bit more of an Octopath Traveler COTC thing, where there's a lot of Scholars with a lot of different rules, different elements rather, in general. Also, you'll notice there aren't any ultimate skills that I've been able to see yet. There are skills, but like it's character specific, right? Like this your main character has an ultimate that's based on like a ring you get early on, but it doesn't seem like the specific jobs have one. Also, the jobs are only for, up till now in the demo, your main character. Each of these characters have a unique job. Even though this is a hunter and you could be a hunter, they have skills that the hunter doesn't have for you as the hunter, right? So this is actually, the party members are unique, and that's not really what we're talking about today. But also why it's important is because when you equip skills, you don't actually get to equip skills from your learned jobs, at least in the demo. You don't get to equip certain support skills. Whatever job you have equipped is kind of just equipped, and you have a little bit of customization, but you can't take the best support skills of like each of the 4 jobs that you like and put 1, 1, 1, 1, right? So you're actually pretty tightly tied into what your job is while it's equipped. However, one important thing to note, as soon as you unlock, I believe it's, right here, when you unlock your 3rd battle skill, I believe every time you unlock 3 battle skills for a new job, you get to unlock another new job. So it actually won't take long for you to be able to unlock all of them relatively quickly. But that is why we're going to go over and recommend. I'm going to go bottom to top on what I recommend. So first, the one that is the one I least recommend, but I do think it is still something that would be pretty viable, is to go back where we started, the Scholar. So why do I recommend the Scholar? The Scholar is going to be very, very powerful in the early game. That's really all there is to it. They have, they are going to be a little bit SP hungry, but it's really not that bad to just buy some items to recover SP. And most importantly, they just have AoE attacks, right? So they have a bunch of AoE attacks, and you could even get, I probably want to get the really big powerful ones yet, just get the cheaper ones. And like almost right away, you get Analyze, right? So instead of having to throw random elements at enemies, you get to just see what their weaknesses are. This is going to be especially good on bosses. Of course, you can go through, find them all, and then reload the fight as well if you kind of want to cheese it in that way. But right away, once you get 4 battle skills, every time you go into a fight, you're going to learn another weak point, right? This is just a really nice quality of life thing. Being able to discover the weaknesses while also being able to do AoE attacks, so you're able to clear mobs really, really easily, is actually going to be a pretty big boon. However, I think this would be, for me, the 2nd class that I pick. But it is absolutely, if you like the Scholar vibe, I think this is one you could very happily start with. Now, the second one I recommend starting with is the Thief. So the Thief is going to be pretty powerful, but I don't think they're going to be necessarily that powerful late game. I don't think it's quite like going to be the Octopath Traveler 2. There's one thing that remains consistent, all right? You have Steal, so you're going to be able to get a bunch of items, very low SP cost, and you have both HP Thief for self-healing, and you have got SP Thief. SP Thief is going to be just very powerful for making sure you never run out of SP, right? This costs 9 SP, and by using it, you'll probably regenerate more than 9 SP. It only does 5%, so early on, it may not go crazy, it may break even, but it also attacks 2 times. So you get to use basically a boosted auto attack. Instead of using a normal dagger attack, you get to use a double attack, which probably does even more damage, and you get to basically regenerate SP as you do it. It's just an overall pretty powerful mechanic. Also, I haven't found all the party members, but you do have dark element stuff as well. And then, of course, when you get to the 5 battle skills, you just get a big chunk of evasion. This will be good for tanking early on, like dodge tanking. But when you basically have infinite SP, infinite HP, and you have the ability to steal items for economy, and you're just going to be harder to hit. These are all very powerful effects that is honestly going to be pretty darn good. And being able to attack an enemy 3 times with a single skill when you get a little bit later, this is going to be pretty powerful. But it does fail in comparison to what I think the easy first choices. And the one that I truly recommend, the reason I wanted to make this video, because I think it's going to help for nearly everybody, that is the Merchant. The Merchant is, quite frankly, overpowered, and it just in all senses of the word, it does absolutely everything besides directly heal your teammates, but it just doesn't really matter. It's harder to say what the Merchant doesn't do. The Merchant doesn't heal your allies. That's basically it. It doesn't necessarily buff your allies, but it's the most self-sufficient, powerful job in the game, at least at this stage, in my opinion. So Deadly Thrust, you have a good chance to get critical hits, right? Already, that's like a pretty good skill. Rest, 0 SP, recover your own HP and SP, and status ailments. This is an elixir for 0 SP. It doesn't heal, if you don't use any BP, it's not gonna full heal you, but still, even if you have 0 SP, even the Thief can't use the SP steal when they're like really low, if they get below that threshold. But for this, it doesn't matter. You could always use this and just keep healing and healing and healing and healing. You throw BP into it, it could easily top you off. I don't know if it's percent based in this game or if it's gonna be flat like numbers, but it's topped me off pretty much every time I've used it. So do not sleep on Rest. Mystic Shot, oh my God. Deal bow damage to all foes. Already nice AoE, and you restore SP equal to 2% of the damage dealt to the entire front row. This gives SP to your entire front row. That could be a really hard thing to get, especially early, because like thieves may be self-sufficient, but again, you don't get to make your party members inherently thieves, right? They're gonna have their own dedicated jobs. So this will be a way to ensure your other characters can actually do their stuff while still dealing AoE damage. And the SP cost is, early on, this is gonna be pretty high, because you're not going to be able to like self-sustain probably with that 2%, because you need to do, I think, what, 1,000 damage roughly to get 20 SP back, which is definitely doable as you get further into the game. And I've even done that much damage, but it's not going to be like every turn you're just getting your SP back for this, right? That's going to be like a full BP charge on a broken enemy. But even then, given the whole front row, so a good chunk of SP is very good. What an incredibly awesome skill. Collect is probably the worst of all of his skills, and it's still not bad. It's never bad to, like, if Octopath Traveler 2 taught me anything, it's that there was no such thing as too much money. Particio could literally buy characters' turns at the end of it. It was like bargain or whatever. It's like able to just bribe a boss to take their turn from them. Absolutely broken skill. That is probably not in this game. Let's not pretend. But money is never bad. So Collect is a nice cheap way to get a nice little influx of money. It's probably the worst of the skills though. Piercing Thrust, you just deal critical polearm damage. Now, instead of having a chance, you're just doing it. So this is going to be one of your best like nuke damage attacks where you get to just blow people up. And then we get to the 2, like we're already like really, really good, really good. And then we get to the really, really good stuff. Arrow of Fortune. If you played Octopath Traveler 2, you're probably going to know what this is. deal great bow damage, not like a great bow, but deal a lot of bow damage and obtain JP based on the damage dealt. I mean, I was hitting with for multiple thousand just in the demo at I think like 1500, even at a low level, right, with this. And when you do that, like normally you can get like 3 JP in a fight, like in these early levels. This will get you like 25 JP. You can, and then there's not really an SP problem because of course you have the Restia and stuff like that, and you could get items. But also, if for like 2 minutes of grinding, you could just use it, go into combat, use this, go back and heal your SP back, and then do one more fight, and suddenly you're like, you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of JP, which in the late game isn't going to be a lot. Like this ability will fall off later, but this will allow you to unlock any job you want super quickly. You're going to be able to unlock, get up to Arrow of Fortune, then get your donate BP, which we'll talk about next, and then you're going to unlock your extra money all the time. Then you can unlock your second job. So now you could have like your setup. You have a job that has really good damage, but also allows you to farm money, farm JP, especially in the early game. And then if you really want to do bosses with a different kind of team, you could just unlock it with the JP you earn from this boss or from this job. This job is just I think it's kind of bonkers. Also, donate BP. This is very, very important to note. This ability is insane. It grants BP to an ally. But what's important is that the donate BP is a bad terminology. You don't give any of your BP. If you spend 0 BP on this skill, you just cast it, it will just give them. So this is always, which is brave points, I think it's called brave points, positive. So if you spend 0 of your brave points, it'll just generate 1. If you spend 4 of yours, or 3 of them, you'll give someone 4, right? So this is a super powerful skill in general. And then once you get the 4th one also, which you're gonna get pretty quick, you just get more money at the end of every fight. Is this the most crazy skill, getting money? I'm not far enough into the game to know how important the economy is actually gonna be. But just having that as a passive is really good. And Arrow of Fortune is going to just absolutely destroy and damage early on, while also giving you an insane amount of JP comparatively to what you're normally getting. Of course, as you get later into the harder fights, the JP of this is not going to be nearly as relevant. But then Mystic Shot is still really good. Rest is really good. Donate BP is really good. You also are probably the tankiest character, right? You get a bunch of passive physical defense. I believe a different character also gets 500 HP, which would be a lot, but still, you get 50 physical, 50 elemental, and then this is such a crazy skill. Borrow insufficient BP for boost points from paired back allies. So the way this game works is you've got 4 in the front, 4 in the back, once you get enough party members. And you basically could switch them back and forth. They're kind of like they're paired allies, right? So each ally has someone they could switch in and front and out of, right? So, and when you're in the back, at least in COTC, you get you heal at the end of the turn, right, a little bit. But what this will allow you to do is they already generate BP as well. You will be able to, if you have 5 on your merchant and you have 5 in the back row, you get to use 10 BP worth, not in one turn, obviously, but I mean, you can max BP for 1, 2, 3 turns in a row. You can max BP for 3 turns in a row by just stealing the BP from the back character. That is absolutely bonkers in this game. Like BP, one of the biggest downsides is after you go up to 5 and you can use up to 3 at a time, right? So you normally could do it 1 turn in a row, and then you have 2 left over for like a weaker turn that's still pretty powerful, but it's not like full power. If you have access to 10, you could literally do it 3 times and still have a BP left over, because it'll be 3 a turn. For 3 turns, you'd go up to 9. And as you're using it from other characters, right, keep in mind they're not going to generate BP either. But this will allow you to push some absolutely disgusting turns in the late game. So I think the Merchant is going to be the best in the early game because of the Arrow of Fortune and just generating money. I think it's going to be one of the best. I mean, who knows how many jobs there are, right? But it's going to be one of the best in the later game with the Mystic Shot, Donate BP, and the ability just to take BP. That means if you use Donate BP, if you have 0, you could still donate 4 or 5, I think you could donate 4 to a different ally using your paired allies BP to give to a different character in your front row. This is like a game-breaking mechanic. I feel like this here. Maybe the game will be balanced around this, but I'm telling you, this skill feels bonkers to me. So I think the merchant is absolutely going to be the one to start off with, because not only is it, like I said before, super powerful for early game grinding and early game economy, it also is going to just have an insane amount of late game potential. So it's one that you're not going to feel bad about investing in at basically any point. But just to quickly mention again, if you really have your heart set on the thief, you know, just get Arrow of Fortune, get a couple skills here that unlock the thief, and now you have the thief. Or you could do the thief and you could just grind a little bit to get the merchant. It'll take longer that way. Steel is very important. It's very good. You're going to like it. And as far as the scholar, this is more a quality of life. You'll feel really powerful in the early game, being able to kill stuff pretty fast. You'll have SP problems, but you're also going to be able to identify weaknesses, so you don't have to just use every single attack to figure out what enemies need. It's definitely one that I'm considering taking for my second. Well, I already got the warrior because I just kind of wanted the 50 physical attack on the warrior to make my Arrow of Fortune deal more damage, but it is absolutely something, which I don't even think I could combine those because I was learning about the game. But Scholar is definitely one that I think I want to have when I'm just wandering around, not planning on grinding, just to get the analyze everybody every single turn, right? It's actually pretty sick. So that is all I have to say for today. Thank you again, Raid Shadow Legends, for sponsoring this video. Check the link in the description down below. And I hope you are ready to subscribe to see a lot of Octopath Traveler 0 content. I've been having a blast with the demo. In fact, the only bad part about the demo is that it's only 3 hours long, and that's a pretty good problem to have. Anyway, guys, that's all for this one. Much love per platypuses per ploutopus. I will see you in the flip-flops. Bye!